So with the reception on my most recent Animal Crossing videos, I decided to ask you guys what you wanted to see in Animal Crossing 2026. And in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and read them off and react to them. If you guys missed it, I made a post on my YouTube community tab saying I'm working on a new video all about your dreams, features, updates, and ideas for the next Animal Crossing, and I want to include your responses. Drop your biggest hope for Animal Crossing 2026 in the comments below. It could be anything from new features, returning characters, to totally wild ideas. And don't worry, if you guys missed it and this video does super well, comment down below what your hopes and predictions in this video, and I might do this again. But this video is going to be a little bit different than my normal stuff. I'm going to have basically background gameplay and my camera on the top right as I read your guys' comments, and hopefully be very chill and a very fun little time just kind of talking about our hopes and dreams for Animal Crossing 2026. Funny enough, the background that I'm playing on right now is actually my first ever playthrough of Animal Crossing New Horizons when it first came out. I did a podcast called Island Life and I needed a bunch of background footage, so I kind of just recorded myself as I was playing. So yeah, that's gonna be our background for this video. But let's go into the comments. Starting with Sky CU saying that she wants to be able to move your resident services if it's like New Horizon. But seriously, I would love if villagers had more reasoning to them and add more personality types and new characters as well. And since it might be live service type of game, being able to redecorate your island with others if they add permissions type features and a bigger inventory, like I want to stack things like 60 instead of 30, and stack crafting, please. There is a lot to unpack in here by Sky CU, and honestly, I agree with all of it. Starting with her first point, being able to move resident services. And I'm gonna kind of extrapolate this to something bigger. And I hope that we're able to change kind of any big thing that isn't normally able to be moved. For example, like, I don't know if you guys remember in Animal Crossing New Horizons, I think, having preset or having entrances and exits for the rivers were actually unable to be moved once you had your set island. And as much as that adds uniqueness to each island, I feel like in the grand scheme of things, it definitely affects your build in a way where it could honestly harm it, if that makes sense. And I would love it if you could actually, relocate those if you really wanted to. I'm trying to think of any other stuff that's actually like permanently on your island that you can't change. I know like the dock for Red was kind of permanent and other stuff on New Horizons, but I totally agree with you. And more than resident services, I hope you could move anything where you want to. She also says, I would love if villagers had more reasoning to them. And we're going to see this a lot in this video where people are talking about the villager AIs. And I could completely agree. Sky CU specifically says that she wants to see more personality types. And I believe, isn't there like 5 at the moment? I think seeing more personality types would definitely spice up the game. But honestly, I'm okay with the ones that they have now, only if they actually fully flesh out and develop them. And we'll get a little bit more into this with everyone else's kind of hopes and dreams, because trust me, a lot of people want better villager AI. And she also says, if it is a live service game, being able to redecorate your island with others if they add permission type features. And I can totally agree with this. I'm going to kind of extrapolate this hope and dream to something even bigger of mine. And that is being able to live on an island with people online. So for example, if you have one Nintendo Switch, everyone is on the same island. But imagine that, except online. And when you hop into your game, you're joined into like an online server with everyone else. And it doesn't have to be on the same console, but everyone can share the same, let's just say island, for example. Everyone can share the same island if they agree to. It might be a little chaotic and it might be a bit expensive for Nintendo because they have to run servers, but I definitely think this would be something really cool if Nintendo did something similar like that. But permissions are also cool. And then lastly, she says she wants a bigger inventory and more specifically 60 instead of 30 stacks. And I think we can only have one or the other. It's either bigger stack sizes for the items or a bigger inventory. I am kind of hoping for a backpack system. I think that'd be cool. If the area is a lot bigger, let's just assume the island or the town that we're going to be living in is a lot bigger, I would hope that our inventory size can increase, but with a caveat. Like I could totally see us having our main inventory pockets and then maybe having a secondary inventory pocket that we can't completely access because it's, you have to like place it down or something. Something that there is like a little bit of a gateway between where you could still hold a bunch, but you can't have full access to it. I don't know if I'm making sense. But yeah, I completely agree with all your hopes. I don't know why I'm agreeing to this. These are your hopes and your predictions, and I hope they all come true. Going on to the next comment we have is from jplaza22. And he says, and they say, have each and every villager have their own unique backstory that you can learn more as you talk and gain friendship with them. Add more buildings like the police station, cafe, and custom-made buildings to place around the island. More Timmy and Tommy shop upgrades. And there's a lot to unpack there. Yeah, and I love these comments, guys. Keep them coming. But yeah, again with the Animal Crossing AI, but more specifically about their backstory. And I think this would be very interesting. I would hope that the villagers have more in-depth relationships, not just with us, but with others. And I feel like that's what you're kind of getting at, where they have kind of backstory with other people before they even met you. I think with Animal Crossing New Horizons, we all kind of were starting on the same level, but nothing really developed amongst the other people. They kind of just hated each other, somewhat liked each other, and that was basically it. I kind of felt like there wasn't really any friendships. And I would love to see maybe like, you know, a relationship system, not full on dating, but like you could be best friends and that actually gives you something really good day to day. And then villagers could do the same as well. I think that'd be super interesting when it comes to villager AI. He also says add more buildings like the police station, cafe, and custom-made buildings. And this was said in a leak that I'll probably talk about in another video, but I think we're going to see a lot more player-made buildings, and that might get your dream to come true. It might not be like residents, it might not be gameplay oriented, but imagine shops made by people, made by players. Imagine shops made by players. I definitely think that could fulfill your dream of there being more buildings in the area. And lastly, he said more Timmy and Tommy shop upgrades. I believe there's like 3 Timmy and Tommy shop upgrades, and imagine if there was like 5 or like 10. Imagine if there was a mall. Like, I know in City Folk, there was kind of a mall. I forgot what it was called, like the massive Timmy and Tommy mall area. And I feel like that wasn't really explored in New Horizons. And I think if there was a final mega upgrade, I could totally see there being a mall for Timmy and Tommy. And I think we've said it a lot where, you know, player-made stores. But I definitely think if there is the store to shop at, I would hope that Timmy and Tommy would be that store. And that does mean more shop upgrades. I would find it very interesting, random side tangent, if not just the shop upgrades, but I imagine if the shop upgrades was like a goal for the community. Like we would have to choose between an upgrade for, you know, Brewster's Cafe or an upgrade for Timmy and Tommy's shop for everyone to have. I don't know. I think that would be interesting. But really great comment by J Plaza. Thank you so much. But next comment we have is from Salsa Tuna. Thank you so much, Salsa, for being a great member of this community. But he wants to make villagers not robots in the humanity sense, please. And thank you, Nintendo. And there is no reason to interact with them in Animal Crossing because it's bland other than getting rewards. Animal Crossing is about vibes, not grind. And I completely agree. And this is going to be very common, guys. We're going to see a lot of people talk about villager AI. And I think if it's common amongst a lot of people, I think the developers might have taken note and hopefully improve it. And maybe with the development of AI, we could see very in-depth discussions when it comes to villagers. I know a lot of people that might be a hot take to a lot of people, but I generally do think that AI could aid the team in creating 10 times the amount of dialogue. And like what was it? I think in the original Animal Crossing, it was like 8 feature-length books worth of words. It's kind of hard to make that. I don't know if they could ever do that or I don't know if they could ever make it where it feels real without massive amounts of words. So we will honestly just have to see. But thank you so much, Salsa, for that comment. Speaking of AI, Ketsuki, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. It says, imagine like ChatGPT villagers. Love Mao. But really, I want a hub where you can see tons of other players and trade and talk to them. Now, this is a very interesting hope because I actually want it as well. Not the GPT aspect, but the MMO-style hub. And I definitely do think they're going to have something like it. But first, let's talk about ChatGPT style villagers. Again, I think they could use AI to their advantage and not have AI in the game per se, but maybe something that helps them make more prompts, or sorry, not prompts, makes them make more dialogue so that they can speak to the player. I don't know. It's just a thought. But where he says, I want a hub where you can see tons of other players and trade and talk to them. This is something I want. I know this is kind of straying away from what Animal Crossing is, but I feel like Animal Crossing and Splatoon share a lot in common. And when it comes to Splatoon, I think experiencing something like the Grand Fest was something I want to see for Animal Crossing. Like imagine a KK concert, but with 20 other people actually running around and dancing, and you could chat and talk with them. This is something that I know Nintendo will struggle doing because, you know, Nintendo's all family friendly. They don't want to be, you know, facilitating anything. But if they were able to do something like that, I think it would be, frankly, amazing. Nintendo could literally make the biggest community platform on the Nintendo Switch based off of the Animal Crossing IP. I could totally see them doing something like Fortnite, where they're like, oh, there's going to be an event at 7 o'clock in the real world. Everyone can join if they show up at that time, and then everyone joins, and there are real people experiencing the same thing all at the same time. Kitsuki also mentions trading as well, and there is rumors about there being a new type of currency, and I think, for me, that currency would be specifically for buying and selling items for a player market, because players had to use Nook Mile tickets as their form of currency, and I think Nintendo would kind of want to get ahead of that and facilitate trading by giving players their own form of currency, or like player currency. But that's just my thoughts and predictions. But thank you so much for the comment. Next from Crossing Joy that says, have more quests and consistent goals to work towards that last for years. Have items that are super expensive so you don't just stockpile money. The villagers should have unique quests you do with them to earn different furniture items. The food should have a bigger meaning in the game, like the villagers having a favorite food that you could give them. A soup is a medicine, and soup being a medicine. It would also be nice to have a restaurant that you can make food for. Lastly, flesh out the swimming more to include caves and models you can make with the creatures. I can say more, but I will stop there. Looking forward to the video. Oh, thank you. And honestly, all your points are frankly inspiring and amazing because my imagination is running wild when just reading all of it. Let's just start from the top down. Having items that are super expensive and goals that'll last years. Frankly, I kind of tend to agree. I know there's going to kind of be like the main tutorial section of the game, similar to how New Horizons was before we unlocked all the terraforming. I think that took about 2 months of in-game time, maybe 2 weeks at the fastest, but I don't really know entirely. But after that, there isn't really any more goals. It's all kind of superficial. So if you were to I think it would be awesome if there was more player-oriented goals that are kind of based off of real people. Like imagine kind of not fishing for likes, but reach 100,000 likes on your island or your town, or meet with 100 people. That is a goal that could honestly take years, but that you could slowly chip away at it, especially for a game like Animal Crossing that could feasibly last years. There's people that are still playing New Leaf. It's like, 10 years old, more than 10 years old, 20 years. So yeah, I definitely think that Animal Crossing could benefit with that. And then he says villagers should have unique quests that you do for them to earn different furniture and items. And this has actually been rumored already about adventures. I think they said side adventures. And I think it'd be cool where there could be like an actual RPG quest system with the villagers. You're kind of leaning into a theory that I have that the next Animal Crossing is going to be divided into 3 different areas. Your main town area, an MMO area, and like a wild-esque area, similar to like the random islands that you go to with the Nook Mile tickets, except it's going to be kind of like basically the size of a normal town that you can just explore, going into caves, swimming in lakes, like you mentioned here when you're talking about fleshing out swimming. I do like your idea about food, and I would love for Nintendo to actually kind of lean into running your own business. We kind of have rumors again about maybe a shop system where you could run your own shop. But imagine those shops could be any like food related, furniture, or clothing. There could be different professions that your villager can do in the city. Let's just say that it takes place in the city. I think that would be amazing, especially with food. You could be like a restaurateur and sell food not only to your villagers, but to other players. And I definitely agree. Like, we got crops in New Horizons, but they kind of felt like decorations. So having actual uses for them, like, multiple recipes, would be very interesting. And I think that would be amazing. And I would love it to be similar to like Breath of the Wild's cooking system, where you don't really know the recipes until you try it. And then like, I could totally see them doing like different rarities of dishes where you could do like, oh, this one's excellent, this one's kind of okay, or this one's bad. But they all will be the same dish. It would add kind of like complexity and more of like a skill building system to Animal Crossing that I think a lot of people would enjoy. Thank you so much for the kind words, Crossing Joy, and I hope you enjoyed being in the video. And just a reminder, guys, if you guys want to be in a video like this, be sure to comment your hopes and dreams in the comment section down below. And if we get enough support for this video, I might do it again, where I read off some more and then talk about it. Also, if you haven't subscribed, you should do that. Thank you. All right, second to last one we have right now is from Jub Sticks, saying, I am an Animal Crossing modder that added a bunch of stuff in my own 3.0 version of the game. And of the features I've added in Animal Crossing New Horizon, I've really enjoyed having new types of hybrid flowers to breed. Pink pansies, yellow windflowers, blue cosmos, blue tulips, and much more. It'll be a lot of fun for the next game. I'm gonna pause right there. And I just had like a massive opening. We were just talking about running your own shop, and you could totally run your own flower shop where you could sell your own types of tulips and flowers and stuff like that. That would be amazing. And I totally agree. If we were to run our own shops, I think having a more complicated breeding system would make it more rewarding to get those rare types of flowers. But yes, I completely agree. A few other additions I'd love in the base game includes perfect fruits, more unlocks plus upgrades, silver tools, shops, slower progression, and more useful NPCs. That is a little bit of a hot take. Slower progression. I think a lot of people are kind of divided on how fast Animal Crossing should be. And right now for me, I don't want it to feel like if I miss a day, I'm gonna miss out on a lot of things. So my hope is for this next Animal Crossing game is to maybe lean off on the day-to-day element, but of course have aspects of it because it is Animal Crossing. I totally forgot about perfect fruits. I do know they were in New Leaf. Did we not get perfect fruits inside New Horizons? I can't actually remember. It's been so long. But yeah, I do agree. More unlocks and more upgrades would be awesome to just prolong the lifespan of the game. I think similar to what Crossing Joy said, having more quests and consistent goals to work towards that last for years. I think, we all want to play this game for literal years. And then lastly, Jubstick says, most of all, I'm confused why tropical fruits and the fancy ores, rubies, sapphires, amethysts, emeralds, and silver, were excluded from Animal Crossing New Horizons. They'd fit so well. I'm asking the same thing. I think, honestly, there's a lot of decisions in Animal Crossing New Horizons that just don't make sense. That being one of them. I think a little hope of mine would maybe be more fruits. Like, I think, of course, we have the classic apples, cherries, oranges, stuff like that. But I think maybe, I wouldn't say crossbreeding, but imagine tangerine, mangoes. I think those would be very interesting. Kind of similar to, what you're saying about the tropical fruits and the fancy ores. I think having a little bit more variation and rarity when it comes to kind of day-to-day items could add that spice. to Animal Crossing that a lot of people would like to see. It would kind of feel like opening a Pokemon TCG pack and getting like a super rare or an immersive rare. It's like, oh, I got this. And it's like just a little happy thing that happened from day to day. All right. And lastly, of the comments from that post, we got one from Toasty Cube saying, as a big Animal Crossing fan since City Folk released on the Wii, I can't force myself to play a live service game like this. He actually commented this on my live service video. Animal Crossing has always been a game that you can pick up and put down at any time, and it should absolutely stay that way. I would hate if they implemented elements for Splatoon 3 like live service style, like the catalog acting as a seasonal battle pass. It starts to feel like a job because you feel like you have to play the game due to fear of missing out. And how ironic would it be if the game that's meant to be chill and relaxing becomes stressful due to a limited time stuff that you can miss out. And honestly, I kind of feel this way with base Animal Crossing. It gets to a point where Animal Crossing kind of feels like a job. And the minute that you miss a day, the minute you feel like you fail. And I just don't want that. Like, I understand. Like, I don't think I want to play a game that is stressful, if that makes sense. If I'm stressed to play the game, I'm not going to play it for so long. Like, when it came to Animal Crossing New Horizons, I played daily for about 2 months. And in the minute I missed a day, that was kind of it. I kind of spiraled downward. And we talk about this a lot in my most recent Animal Crossing podcast session. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out in the top right corner. But I 100% agree with this. If this next Animal Crossing figured out a way to make it feel less stressful to play day to day, I think that'd be awesome. But I'm going to have to disagree with you, Toasty, because I think like this might be a hot take, because I know a lot of people don't want this game to be live service. Live service meaning constant content updates and with limited time items. I think that's kind of good for the game. I know that like constant content updates would mean more content for the game, but with the downside of maybe missing out on a few items if it's all connected to the internet. If we're able to kind of time travel in between days and days, that could be a good workaround where they kind of like lock it between, a certain season like they did with the Sakura and Bunny Day and everything like that you could just simply time travel during that day and get, all the items that you want. But I have a feeling that Animal Crossing 2026 is going to be kind of connected to the internet where you can't really time travel anymore. Nintendo's been doing this thing where they're kind of controlling the way you play, especially with Mario Kart World, making you play intermission tracks online. And I have a feeling they might be doing that for Animal Crossing. That's a video for another time though. But again, thank you everyone who commented on my community post. And I hope you guys enjoyed this weird style video. I kind of wanted to do like a discussion video, but didn't really just want to talk straight to the camera. So I hope you guys did enjoy. And again, if you guys want to see another video like this, be sure to smash that like button and just comment down below what your hopes and dreams are for Animal Crossing 2026. And if we get enough comments and enough likes and views, I will 100% do this video again. And we might make it even an hour long. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching and the support on the channel recently. I'm Crafty Type 1, and I'll see you guys next time.